Hey everyone, Stephen Young back again, another episode of Motivational Mondays, our inaugural Motivational Monday for 2016. We're going to be bringing these to you live every single week, week in and week out. And this year, this is our first session of a year. So last year we started sort of like in the spring, so we didn't get to quite go over goal setting, how to set goals, and how to really go after what you want to go after this year in 2016. There's only three types of goals on the planet. There's A goals, there's B goals, and there's C type goals. So A goals are goals that you already know how to do, right? This is what we call the to-do list. They're not very motivating, but you definitely have to get these things done. The challenge with most people is they stop at the A goal. They just say, if you earned $60,000 last year, your same goal is just to maintain that this year. It's not very motivating, it's not very inspiring. Which brings us into B goals. B goals aren't necessarily goals that you know how to do, but it's goals that you think you can do if you have a plan in place and you stick to the plan. So what we teach here at Young Realty and the Realtor Coach and Young Realty Academy is that we coach people on how to change their income into what we call the 12X Blueprint. The 12X Blueprint is one of our courses that we teach here, and it's basically we take your annual income and we multiply it times 12, so convert your annual income into a monthly income, and that's really the goal. To give you an idea and a baseline of what a B-type goal is going to be. That's a 12x jump. So it's a goal that you could think you could do if you have a plan for that. And then when we get into a C-type goal, this is really the pinnacle of goal setting. It's what we call the fantasy goal. It's what you want to be doing day in and day out with your lifetime. So if time and money are no issue, what is it that you want in terms of the fantasy goal? So for most people, they go through life and they don't ever stretch and they don't ever dream for that goal because it's too far out of reach for most people. I'll give you a good example. Hilary, who climbed Mount Everest, was the first human being ever to climb Mount Everest. And he tried 3 different times in 3 different years and failed every single time. But his goal, his fantasy goal, was always to get to the top. There was no plan of action. There was no one who knew how to do it before him. He had to really go out there and face it and do it himself. But it's really what he wanted. It was his burning desire was to be the first human being to climb Mount Everest. And sure enough, he did. And for you going forward for 2016, this Motivational Monday is our first two-part session. So this is going to be part 1 of 2. So what I want you doing this week is creating 3 lists. So you're going to have A goals, B goals, and C goals. So let's say you want to be an author, okay? And so your A goal would be, you have to write every day. That's you know how to do that. It's just something you have to do, okay? So it's what we call your to-do list. Your B-type goal would be to write 10 best-selling novels or books for publishing in 2016. Okay, so it's a goal that's really going to stretch you, but it's something you think you can do, something you think is accomplishable by the end of the year. And your C-type goal would be a fantasy goal. So if you could wave a magic wand, what would you want to be known for? Is it you want to change the world with your writings? Is it you want to, have 10 million books sold? You want to have the biggest seller of all time? You really have to sit down and think what your fantasy type goal is. So the homework this week is to write those 3 lists, and next week I'm going to show you how to take those 3 lists and what to do with them day in and day out so you can start accomplishing the goals that you want. So we're going to review A goals, B goals, and C goals. It's quite simple. It's an easy exercise. It's an exercise that most people need to do, but most people don't do, unfortunately, because they don't do it properly. No one's ever taught you how to goal set properly. So that's what we're here to do. So that's my message this week and my view from the top.